Good afternoon, esteemed judges, ladies and gentlemen. What if a single image could enable medical students to memorize the most complex concept more effectively and efficiently? My name is Kittiyada Limruangrong, and I am honored to present my project, AVAMS, Automating Visual AI-Infused Mnemonics for Enhancing Memorization in Disruptive Medical Education. This project not only integrates cutting-edge technology in generative AI to address a critical challenge in medical education, but also demonstrate how automation can transform traditional learning method into scalable, engaging solution. Okay. Medical students face an overwhelming amount of information to master in limited timeframes, especially in subjects like biochemistry, where pathways and terms are dense and abstract. Mnemonics are a proven tool for memory retention, but traditional methods of creating them are time consuming, inconsistent, and rely heavily on student creativity. Generative AI tools like ChatGPT can help bridge this gap, but they come with limitations. Generated visual often contain inaccuracy or the lack the necessary context for effective learning. Crafting usable outputs require extensive refinement, what we call prompt engineering. This is where AVAMS comes in, a framework that automates and optimizes this process to create high-quality visual mnemonics quickly, accurately, and at scale. Let me illustrate how this works. How do you turn something like gluconeogenesis into a memorable image? For example, glowing factories creating new sugar bricks represent gluconeogenesis, the process of making glucose from non-sugar material, with each brick turning into a glucose. Or better yet, how about an anti-glycolysis pathway at the same time? AWAM transformed the mnemonics creation through automation, generative AI, and here's how it works. Prompt generation. Using ChatGPT, we create imaginative prompts for visual mnemonics. For example, sorry. For example, glowing factory creating new sugar bricks represent the gluconeogenesis, the process of making glucose from non-sugar material, with each brick turning into a sugar. The database storage. These prompts are systematically stored in Google Sheets for organization and scalability. Visual creation. Generative AI models such as Dolly and Midjourney transform this prompt into detailed image paired with explanation and then expert validation. Medical professionals review their visuals to ensure accuracy, educational value, and clarity. Then we have the student testing. 18 medical students evaluate the feasibility of implementing AI-generated visual mnemonics and storytelling in medical education and assess their potential through Likert scale. The frameworks operate on an integration platform as a service, or iPaaS, enabling seamless automation across all stages. Concept score gather feedback through metrics like memorability, concept understanding, usability, engagement, and emotional impact. The results are compelling. Over 96% of the mnemonics were rated both usable and creative by medical experts. Among the students, over 90% report improved recall and understanding when using these mnemonics compared to traditional learning methods. For example, students who struggle to memorize the glycolysis pathway report significantly higher retention rate after engaging with these vivid AI-generated visuals. This finding highlights the transformative potential of AVAMS. This is a tool for faster learning, but a paradigm shift in how we approach education. This system ensures that I'm sorry, this system approach ensure that every mnemonic is both scientifically valid and learner-centric by aligning with the cognitive theory of multimedia learning AVAMS optimize the combination of visual and verbal information, fostering deeper understanding retention. Furthermore, this project supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, by promoting inclusive, equitable, and quality education. In an era defined by rapid technological advancement, AVAMS demonstrate how generative AI can be harnessed to make complex medical knowledge accessible, engaging, transformative for learners worldwide. In conclusion, AVAM represents a leap forward in medical education by automating the creation of visual mnemonics, not only accurate but also engaging and scalable. This project is more than an innovation in AI. It is a step toward making education more effective, equitable, and human-centered. Thank you for your attention. I would like to thank my advisor for their support throughout this journey. Thank you. Any question?
It's very interesting study. Uh, it's very beneficial and it is very up to date in this era. So it seems that AI visual assistant can help memory retention of students, right?
Right.
But I wonder that do you plan to study furthermore about not only to study about memory retention, but about how they can apply knowledge to solve the patient's problem?
That is an interesting question. Personally, the project was designed to help the medical student with their uh, quite a lot of material to study for the exam to like invoke their curiosity. But I also think this can be used to improve the patient in with learning disability or the child that are quite young. And this type of educational tool is like a curiosity-based thing. So I'm pretty sure they will be interested in it, and it will be quite efficient. Thank you.
I have a question about improvement in memory retentions. How long that the student think the memory can retain? I mean, how far after you test their memory about the subject that they learn?
Well, actually, the score was collected through the Likert scale. So the student, and we also asked the students, the participants, about their how to say, their opinion in the subject, and they say that when they have to memorize the glycolysis pathway, it's usually pretty hard. Like the second year medical student, they are studying by the biochemistry, and they told me that the mnemonics help them remember it far better. Like it's easier and more interesting, so that improved the memory retention. And personally, I also use this to memorize my study topic to the exam.
What next? What next with this study?
Personally, I would make sure the automation would be equally accessible to every student worldwide, because currently it's in the prototype and it is a preliminary score, but actually you can actually use the prompts on AI yourself by ChatGPT by telling it to generate a mnemonics prompt. And what interesting is that, and it is also the reason of this project is that sometimes the too much flexibility in the AI might make the image get quite like go astray and not get to the point. So the database storage, the Google Sheet will be a column, so it will tell the placement where the information is supposed to go next and so on to make the framework solid and more accurate. Thank you. Is there any other question, I guess? Thank you so much.